Good evening. It is on or around June 4th, 2024. And what we're looking at right here is G.I. Joe Battle for the Arctic Circle. All right, let's get into it. As you can see, it says powered by Access and Allies, and it has Avalon Hill here, which is always great to see. The imprint, if not only a name now, it's still nice to see it. And Renegade Game Studios there. All right, we're gonna. This game does not has since it's been in my life. It's done nothing but bring me joy, a lot of joy actually. So we're gonna talk about it for a little while, and I may even give you a bit of a review here. I've played this. I've played this enough. I've played this quite some time ago. A friend of mine had an early copy, and we played it. And again, it's given me joy since it came into my life. And you know, Access and Allies is one of those love hate relationships I have. I do like Access and Allies, and I can find plenty of people to play with. With play with me. Excuse me, in the game. So I have a lot of good feelings about it. I enjoy playing Access and Allies. I do think that since 2009, I think it was 2009 when they came out with the 1940 Europe and 1940 Global, and then there kind of starts a homogenization, if you understand what I'm saying, of Access and Allies, where it's basically the same rule set for every other Access Allies game. They don't tweak them very much for in between, uh, Pacific and the 1942 Global or whatever. It's just your IPCs are a little different, but the cost of stuff's basically the same. No matter what game you're playing, it's basically the same. Whether 1941, 42, global, they're basically the same. Anniversary, basically the same. And I liked the old. When I say the old, I liked the those Avalon Hill imprints from the late '90s and early 2000s, right? The Pacific and the Europe and back then. Those were pretty fun games. Different. The rule sets were a bit different, granted, but they should be tweaked for a different place, right? I like the idea of using a similar system, but they should be tweaked for its own theater of operation, right? And the only thing different that really came out was World War One, and it was a bit different because it was set in World War One. So, but the rest of them were kind of homogenized. It just wasn't my thing necessarily. Didn't love that about it, right? I like uniqueness and so on. And but since like 2013, that was when I think World War One came out. We really had no new Axis and Ally until 2018. That was Axis and Allies and Zombies, and that was a neat idea. But once you understood the game, and once we broke the game pretty quickly. And it's one strategy. And once you understand that strategy, you can win every time or lose every time. It's just that one strategy is what it has to be. And once you figure that out, you can't not see it, right? But luckily, that game did have an expansion for 1942, which Axis Allies and Zombies. When you put with 1942, you put the Axis and Allies in Zombies expansion on there. It works pretty well. It's I've played it. It's okay. It's decent, but there really hadn't been nothing new. So in 2022, Renegade Game Studios partnered with Hasbro. WotC had the Avalon Hill label and was doing the stuff. They still do, I guess. But WotC was pretty much taking, and they've not done a lot with it, except that in the past few years, except that Axis Allies and Zombies that I broke it, and not in the 8.5 hours we broke it. So, but yeah, So 2022, they came out with more. They said they were going to reprint some things, and they have. We looked at Guadalcanal, I think we did, on this channel, and I think I've posted that. We looked at Guadalcanal, and we've looked at it, and they're coming out with North Africa, Access Allies North Africa. And if anything screamed North Africa, it's Access and Allies. They could do that, and it would be nice. And but this was the first new game, and it's like I said, it's powered by Access and Allies, but it is G.I. Joe, and the one I played before, when we were unboxing it to sit down and play it, I was just tickled to death. Everything tickled me about it. And I really should have took this one out of the shipping box on channel, because it tickled me to death when I pulled it out. Look at that artwork. We're going to talk about it. Look here. We got Cobra Commander. You got Baroness. You got Snow Troopers. You've got Admiral Keel Hall back there. So Snow job, giggity there. Very cool artwork that brings you back to the early '80s version of G.I. Joe, right? So it's a rattler there. All right, let's look on the back of it. You look at the back. It's got very short blurb. Cobra has established a base at the North Pole and threatens the world with its weather dominator. Only G.I. Joe is ready and able to defeat these forces without drawing the entire world into a larger conflict. Admiral Keelhaul and Snowjob lead the Joes against the aggressive forces of Cobra, led by Cobra Commander and Destro. The air, land, and sea of the Arctic Circle is the battlefield. Are you ready for a fight? Yeah, sure am. And I love everything about this. I love the box art. I love the art of the Cobra Commander there. Destro and Cobra Commander there. Snow Job there. The only thing I don't love, Snow Job and Keel Hull there. The only thing I don't love is there's Baroness, but Baroness is not in the game. So it's the only thing I don't love about it. I think that was done for, I don't know, maybe they'll come out with an expansion with a couple more leaders. And if that's the case, then I'm all in. Let's open it up and let's look at it. Like I said, since putting my hand on this game, I've enjoyed this game. It's a fun game. It's, all right, so, and let's open it up. Nothing inside the box. No inside art. That's okay. Put this out of the way so I can. All right, that's your. Some miniature games from G.I. Joe. It's the RPG, which they have the G.I. Joe. Whatchamajigger? IPO, so they're using. Power Rangers strategy game. Oh boy. Don't know about that one, but G.I. Joe deck building game. That might be a good something to check out. All right, here it is. This is the rule book. The rule book, boy, color, nice to read. It's that perfect paper that I love that you can. It's not glossy, so you can write it and make notes with a pen if you want. You can write on it well. Table of contents. The rules, it's a light game. It's not a heavy game whatsoever. But it shouldn't be that heavy of a game. It's Axis and Allies. But even for Axis and Allies, it's pretty light. This is probably, it's not the lightest game. Like that D-Day game was lighter than this. But this game is a decent entry point into Axis and Allies, really. But it's, there you go, game sequence, you look at it. Optional first strike rolls, we might talk about that. Attacker rolls, defender removes casualties, continue combat, all right. Optional first strike, and so that's your combat sequence, right? That's not your sequence of play. We'll look at that too real fast. Excuse me, getting over this cold. All right. So, Well, or order of play, which is nice. Cobra Commander goes first. Admiral Keelhaul, Destro, and Snowjob. I've only played this 2-player. I would like to play it 4-player. And as a 2-player game, it is fun. There's a sequence of play. Purchase reinforcements, combat move, conduct combat, non-combat move, check stacking limits. That's the difference in this game than in most Axis and Allies games. You got stacking limits. Deploy reinforcements and set victory points. So that's the big difference. Is the and we'll look at that too. That's a big difference to the game is the stacking limits. And what are these here? Okay, these are just your the Weather Dominator. When you have the Weather Dominator, you can, as Cobra, either Destro or Cobra Commander, one time a game, one time a turn, you can freeze part of the ocean there, right? And here's your leaders. The leaders have special abilities. What's Keelhaul's? Logistical expert. You may deploy one air unit to a hex counter you control an aircraft carrier. Where you control an aircraft, you may deploy one land unit to a hex where you control a cruiser. Very neat. Logistical helps you move troops. Snow jobs is your troopers may move 2 during non-combat movement, okay? Cobra Commanders, at all costs, at the end of the first round of combat, after casualties, you may destroy one unit of your color in the combat to score 1 hit, right? Tactician, your units have 1+ attack versus hexes with 6 or more defending units in them. So very cool. Very, very cool. All right. Different scenarios too. Yeah. Okay, we'll look at that in a minute. It's a game that gives you pretty much enough nut to dice to and let's talk about these minis. Minis are good. There's snow jobs, obviously. They're good. They're new sculpts, all except aircraft carriers. And look at what they've done. They've put them in Ziploc bags. Now that's something gamers love. I mean, that's class right there. That's something that even us grouchy old war gamers love to see. Instead of having to get a new bag, put them right back there in a Ziploc. Might as well do it. That's good. That is good. And love that. Right. This is Cobra Commanders. This is Keelhaul's, and this is Destro's. Then you have and extra bags. I always pick up on that and say once they give me extra bags, I love them because that you always need extra bags for stuff in the game. They give you a what do you want to call it? An insert so you can take it out if need be. Love the insert. Love the map of the North Pole inside the insert there. Stacking limits, you get 12. In bases, you can put 12. In all others, hexes, you get 8. Right? That's your stacking limits there, which is kind of cool. Hex, it's a hex game, right? So they use a hex. All other Axis and Allies, every other Axis and Allies game is a area movement, right? So it's area to area movement. So this is definitely a hex game, which I love, and the wargamer in me loves. You got 3 different scenarios. This one definitely weighs toward the Joes. The hot start really is leans a little bit more toward Cobra, although I think the Joes have an advantage overall. And then base brawl, that's just you're going to capture. That's one that the aggression matters, right? Aggression matters. Very cool. Very cool. So, let me move this box out of the way a little bit so we can look at the map. All right. So, map's well done. It is a good map is this here is the North Pole. That's what we're talking about. Um, guess here we're looking at Greenland, uh, Canada, Alaska, the Bering Strait, and then Russia. So I like the map. I do like the map, and it's got your turn order here. Love that. Yeah, I don't have no complaints about the map. Other than I think I would like them to have labeled Russia, Greenland, uh, whatever and whatever, Canada and Alaska, right? Other than that, though, I'm good with it. Yeah, yeah. Can't, so I'm good with that map, and I'm good with the minis. I guess I could set up a scenario. I don't know if I want to right now, but I guess I could set up a scenario. But yeah, game's good. It's a lot. It's what it's supposed to be. It's a fun game. You're just going to battle each other. Um, the costs of the things are a little different. It's gonna. Where's the? Oh chuta. ¿Dónde están mis tarjetitas? Here they are. Play aids, which I'll always love. So, combat sequence, first strike rolls. You get first strikes if you have a. Destro has his snowmobile units. He gets first strike there, or Snow Job can have targeted strike on the first. What's your name? Which basically has missiles, guided missiles. Right. Um, land in the air units. Sky Stalkers may only land on aircraft carriers of your color, or on bases and VP hexes that were not under enemy control at the start of your turn. That's your that's one that goes against the Joes. The Sky Stalker units can't. Rattlers may land on an aircraft carrier of your color and on land or mixed land and sea hex, including a VP hex captured in the current turn. So it's a little easier for the Rattlers. The cost of the stuff is, 2 for your troops. The Snowcat units, you get 5 cost for there, and your cost of the Sky Striker is 10. The Snow Serpent units, you cost same thing. Infantry 2, the Wolves 5, and the Rattlers 10. The problem about the Rattlers, they defend on a 4, but they only attack on a 3. So you got a little bit different here. But then we get first strikes on the Wolves. Destro gets first strikes on his Wolf units. Is that how it goes? Anyways, no, Wolves get first strike. Wolves get first strike, not just Destro. I'm out of my mind. I'm forgetting. And then cruisers and aircraft carriers. Your cruisers can break ice if need be, and transport units. Transport land units. You put 2 land units of, so that's what you get to do. And your aircraft carrier, they, transport 2 units of air power units, right? So they're pretty much the same. It takes 2 hits to kill the aircraft carrier. So I think in the regular game, it's a battleship. It takes 2 hits and accident allows to. But that's the game, and the game is so fun that I just can't wait to play it again. Cannot wait to play it again, and I'm looking forward to playing it soon. This is one of those weird things that I'm thinking. So far in 2024, this is the best game of 2024 I've played. Right. So, is it the best war game I've played? This came out in 2024. It's the best. It's the most fun war game I've played in 2024. Certainly, it's not historical. The map is sort of historical, but it's not a historical war game. That's what I'm saying. If you remember, 1986 or 87, when Fortress America came out. And I think it won the Origins Award for best war game of the year, or best 20th century war game. And wargamers, including people like myself, didn't really like that because it was a mass-produced game, and we thought it wasn't a real war game. It was a science fiction game, and it could have won science fiction game. But oh man, how in the world would it win? Best 20th century war game, this ahistorical non-war game, and so really that's what made the split in the Origins Awards and the Charlie Roberts Awards, right? That's really what started the Charles S. Roberts Awards, because war gamers wanted to have say in what's the best war games of the year. Well, is this my Fortress America moment, right? So where I would actually nominate this as a war game of the year, and I'm telling you, gun to my head right now. Of course, it's only 6 months. There's still 6 months left in the year. I've got a lot of other games to play, and the nominations don't happen for some time. But gun to my head right now at this moment, this would be I would nominate this as the best war game, 20th century war game of 21st century, I guess, modern war game of 2024. And that sounds crazy. Definitely the best science fiction war game. Maybe the best war game of 2024. I know that sounds crazy. I don't know if I'm getting old and I'm not getting I'm getting less grouchy in my old age, it looks like, but I've had so much fun with this that I'm really thinking about nominating this as now. The good thing is most of my nominations don't pan out, but when I nominated whatever it was, the White Tribe, which I really thought that should have been game of the year. I got very few, so my nominations usually don't get a lot of traction. Although some of the stuff I've nominated has got traction and just not won the award I wanted it to. Right? That's the only thing I have against this. If a war game of the year is that it's non-historical. Other than that, it's very accessible. Somebody can play this. The accessibility of this game, somebody can learn it in a session and play it. Rules aren't that difficult. It feels like a battle in the Arctic with G.I. Joe. It's just fun. And again, I don't know where I'm at, my headspace is at. But yeah, it's like my Fortress America moment, right? It's a much better game than Fortress America, in my opinion. It's just one of those games you can't not have fun with. And I mean, man, just like I said, you got scenarios. I'm probably going to start working on some of my own scenarios for it just because it's that good. Let me know what you think. Do you have it? Are you going to get it? Again, I'm not going to fuss if you say, this isn't a real war game. Okay, I got it. Sure, you can say that, and I'll accept it and sort of agree with you, but it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, if you haven't picked it up, pick it up. It's a great beer and pretzel game. It should be played that way. You should probably play it with, I haven't played it with more than two, but with two people, it's a lot of fun. It's to sit down and talk and, talk and have fun. We're not really thinking about much historically here. Just a lot of fun. And although I have had the conversations about war in the Arctic during this, every time they do that, I have a war in the Arctic or the Antarctic, I want to, what was the SBI game? War in the Ice, right? All those kind of games about war in the Arctic or the Antarctic, I like to think about and like to play just because I think it's such a different battlefield, especially the Antarctic, right? It was just such a different battlefield. So, all right, folks, talk to you soon. Let me know what you think. I think it's worth it playing. You could probably play from 12-year-old till adult, have fun with this, and should have fun with it. So, whether you're a war gamer or just casual, it don't matter. Y'all have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. This game's worth every penny. If I was going to give it, I'd give it a 8.75. Right? That's what I would give it right now. it might go up when I play at multiple player. We'll see. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.